welcome to my YouTube channel, Beauty Okene. In today's class, I'll be teaching various topics in biology. That's various topics that cuts across biology. And on the board, we have some Jamb likely questions. These are questions that you can see in your forthcoming Jamb. The first question says, in plants, respiration occurs in dash A, the roots only, B, all living cells, C, the stomata and the lenticels, D, the mesophyll, 2 cells only. Now if you look too well, let me tell you something. The best way to answer a question is to understand the question first of all, then you can answer. If you check too well, see the question, it says, in plants, okay, in plants, respiration occurs in, okay, so we have the roots only, all living cells, the stomata and the lenticels, the mesophyll, 2 cells only. Now, what do you do? How do you approach this question? The first thing is this: in plants, respiration occurs. Now, what is respiration? Respiration is a process by which glucose and other organic molecules are broken down in the form of energy. What energy is that? The ATP. That's the adenosine triphosphate. Okay, that's ATP. This is a form of energy that is broken down from organic materials and glucose. Now in plants, respiration occurs where? Now they said the roots only. We know that respiration occurs in the root as well, okay? So respiration occurs in the roots. No, only does not mean that's the answer, okay? Now all living cells, yes, all living cells in the plant, respiration occurs in every part of the cell of the plant, okay? Now we have the stomata and the lenticels. These are also medium of gaseous exchange, meaning respiration takes place there as well. The mesophyll too is found on the leaf, okay, and also it allows respiration as well only. So the answer to this question is all living cells. All living cells, because in plants, check well, in plants, all the parts allows for respiration. We have even the stem, we have the leaf as well, and other parts of the plant allows for respiration. So in plants, okay, aside maybe some other animals where they have special organs for their respiration, okay. So that's the first question. So the answer is all living cells. Take note. The second question says, the specific portion of a habitat which is occupied by a particular species is dash A, ecological population, B, ecosystem, C, biotic community, D, ecological niche. Now what is the answer? How do you approach this question? First of all, what is habitat? Habitat is a dwelling home. You can say it is a dwelling home of an organism, okay? So what is an organism? An organism is something that has life in it. That's an organism, okay? Take note. So the specific portion of a habitat which is occupied by a particular species is A. Now don't let this thing deceive you, this ecological stuff you're saying there. What is population? Population can be defined as a sum total of a species in a given environment, species of the same kind living in a particular area. For instance, you have goats, you have cockroach, you have this, you have humans as well. And if you want to know the population of humans in that environment, you don't add up everything, you just pick up the number of humans in that area. I think that was a mistake they made last time. Was it 2006 when we had a population census? Like we had census and they counted everything, because animal, they said, is a living thing as well. So it's not just organisms of the same species, okay? Take note. So that is for population. Now what's an ecosystem? An ecosystem is just a total or a sum of the biotic and abiotic factor, okay, of an environment, okay? We'll have what's the biotics rather? The biotic means the living components of the environment. For instance, we have plants, animals, and other organisms there. So we have the abiotic. Let me write them here. We have the biotic and abiotic. So the biotic means the word bio. It means life. It has life in it. We have the abiotic. That is doesn't have life. Example, we have temperature, rainfall, and other what component that makes up what the environment. So we have the community. This one, biotic community, just simply means what all the living components of that area. Okay. Last one says ecological niche. Now, for instance, what I'm doing now, I am occupying or operating in a particular niche on YouTube. For instance, we have the faith-based niche, we have how to make money, we have educational niche, and we have technological niche as well. So even on YouTube we have niche. That's the place where we need to operate. Okay, so same is applicable to organisms in a particular habitat. They all have their niche. So it means what the functional area of an organism. For instance, let me say we have cockroach, we have rats, and we have earthworm in a particular habitat. Okay, let me just assume they are just within a particular habitat. Now each of them have their role. Let me just assume they have their functional role, what they do in that particular environment. So that's what it means there, the ecological niche. Okay, so it says the specific portion of a habitat which is occupied by a particular species is what? The answer is what? Ecological niche. Okay, so this is the answer. Okay, so the next question says, which of the following are components of the glomerular filtrate? Which of the following are components of the glomerular filtrate? A. Water and salts only. B. All the components of blood except mineral salts. C. All the components of blood except plasma protein and cells. D. Blood cells, amino acids, salt, and nitrogenous waste. Now, what you should do is this. First of all, what is glomerular filtrate? What is glomerular filtrate? What is glomerular filtrate? Just permit me to clean so I can use other part of the board. Now, the glomerular filtrate is the process, or is a process. Let me use. Is a process by which the kidney, okay, separate or filters water, salt from what? Blood. Okay. Now, what does this is what they call the glomerular. Sorry, the glomerulus. Glomerulus. Okay. So it is found there. This is what enables what? The filtration. That is why, in this glomerulus, there is a filtrate there, or there's a barrier that allows, okay, there's a filtrate, something that filters these substances in there. So that is why if you notice blood in your urine, it means there is problem. Okay. So that is why if you notice blood in your urine, rather, there is what? A problem. So this is what the glomerulus does to filter urine, okay, from blood. And what it does is this as well. It allows some things to go in and what do not allow. And that is why it allows salt, water, amino acid, and proteins to what? Go into the glomerulus and prevent or disallow the what? The flow of what? Plasma membrane and what? Proteins and what? Cells. Okay. So this is what it does. So aside all this, what the glomerulus does is to what? It prevents just what? All the components of blood. It prevents it except what? Plasma, protein, and cells. Okay. So this is what it does. So the answer here is what? C. Okay. It said, which of the following are components of the glomerular filtrates? Okay. Which of the following are components of the glomerular filtrates? Okay. A. Water and salt only. B. All the components of blood except mineral salts. C. All the components of blood except what? Plasma, protein. Okay. So let's go to the next question. Okay. The next question says, question 4 says, which of the following structures controls the activities of the cell? A. Mitochondria. B. The nucleus. C. The ribosome. D. The chloroplast. The answer, how do you get the answer? First of all, what does the mitochondria does? Now, the mitochondria is refers to what as the powerhouse of the cell. It powers the cell. That's to say, it provides or it produces energy that carries what the cell. Okay. B is what the nucleus. What's the nucleus? The nucleus contains what the genetic material. That's DNA. Okay, that is responsible for gene expression. Okay, that's what the nucleus does. So, and also it also controls what the activities of what the cell. C, the ribosome. What is a ribosome? The ribosome synthesizes what proteins. Okay, that's what the ribosome does. Then what about the chloroplast? The chloroplast is only found in what? In plant. This is the place or the specific organ in plant that allows for what? Photosynthesis. Okay, so from these options, the answer to the question is what? The nucleus. The nucleus what? Controls the activities of the cell. Okay, that's what the nucleus does. Okay, now the next question says, reading the verdict of a case by a magistrate is an example of dash. A, an instinct. B, a voluntary action. C, a conditioned reflex. D, a reflex action. Now, what is a verdict? Reading the verdict. What does it mean? This means what? A conscious, a deliberate thought. You're making a decision over a criminal. For instance, the criminal does something wrong and you want to impute a judgment on this criminal. What do? As a magistrate, you carefully what? Impute the judgment. So that's what it means is the verdict. He was actually reading the verdict of the case. So what kind of action is this? Is it an instinct? What's an instinct? An instinct is an innate behavior, something already in you that you did not even learn it or so you don't need to experience it, but it's already in you. Okay, so that's what an instinct means. Okay, now the second one says a voluntary action. What is a voluntary action? A voluntary action simply means a conscious, a deliberate thing you imagine and you bring it into action. It is not automatic. It is not automatic. Okay. C says a conditioned reflex. What's a conditioned reflex? You putting something on that condition. For instance, you want to borrow money from someone, and the person says, "Okay, for me to give you this money, you're going to bring this. You bring maybe your laptop, this and that for the loan." That is what we call condition. There are things you need to keep aside to get that thing. Now, what it means is this: a conditioned reflex was being experimented by one scientist called Pavlov. Pavlov conducted an experiment where, normally if dogs see food, they salivate, right? And they go in and start eating. But what he did was to condition the dog. And that's to say, he had to put a bear that when the dog hears the sound of the bear, that is when he can salivate to eat the food, and that was successful. So before the dog could eat, the bear must go first before it will go on the food. That's what we call the conditioned reflex. That's the Pavlov's experiment. Pavlov's. Let me spell the word Pavlov's. Okay, let me write it here. Pavlov's. You can go and read it. Pavlov's experiment. So this is a conditioned experiment. Okay. Now next one says a reflex action. What is a reflex action? You can also call it an involuntary action. Involuntary, it is automatic. For instance, you putting your hands on a hot object, you draw your hands away, okay? Your knee checking, your eyes blinking. It's an automatic one, okay? You do not condition that. Now for instance, let me give an example of an instinct, okay? An instinct is, for instance, a spider spinning a web, okay? I can't spin a web. I don't have that ability because it's not innate in me. So that's an example of an instinct or an innate behavior, okay? So from this question, the option here that fits this question is what? It's a voluntary action. That is a deliberate and a thoughtful action the magistrate took towards execute judgment on the criminal. The next question says, a virus can sometimes be regarded as a living organism because A, it exists in a variety of shapes. B, it causes diseases in plants and animals. C, it reproduces in living cells. D, is easily visible with the aid of an electron microscope. The question says a virus can sometimes be regarded as a living organism. So what they mean, or what they want from me is that why will a virus be regarded as a living thing? You know, there's this question that says, is virus a living thing? True or false, right? It depends, okay? A virus can be a living thing based on the environment it is, okay? Because outside the living cell, it is a non-living thing. But inside the living cell, it reproduces. So from this option, let's go. It said it exists in a variety of shapes. No, this does not make it a living thing, okay? Because even non-living things can exist in different shapes, okay? Now B, we have it can cause disease in plants and animals. This does not make it a living organism, okay? Then C says it reproduces in living cells. D is easily visible with the aid of an electron microscope. Yes, that's true, because if you want to view a virus, you don't view virus with a light microscope. You use an electron microscope. But this does not make it a living thing. So now what makes it a living thing is because the answer is C. Because viruses reproduces in their living cell, and that is why they are called obligate intracellular parasites. Let me write it down so you see it. Okay, let me use this point. So they are referred to as obligate intracellular. So you can otherwise call it OIP. Okay, so viruses are referred to as obligate intracellular parasite. That's to say they must, that's obligation, they must, if they must live inside the cell parasite to cause problems. So outside the cell of a living thing, they are useless, they become crystalline in shape, okay? So this is the answer to the question, because they reproduce in living cells. Take notes, okay? So the next question says the attachment of the embryo to the wall of the uterus is called A, placentation, B, gametogenesis, C, ovulation, D, implantation. So what is the answer to this question? First, what is placentation? Placentation is a process of making the placenta. Now this placentation comes after fertilization, whereby the sperm cell fertilizes the egg cell to form a zygote, okay? So this one comes after fertilization has taken place, okay? So it is not the answer. B says gametogenesis. This is a compound word. Gametogenesis. Okay, from the word gametes, that's the sex cell. These are referred to as sex cell. Sex cells. Example, we have the sperm and we have the egg, or otherwise called the ovum. Please take note, it's not the normal egg you eat, it's the ovum, okay? So gameto, then the word genesis is beginning. So gametogenesis simply means the process of making gametes, okay? Gametogenesis. Now the next point says ovulation. What is ovulation? Ovulation simply means a process whereby the ovaries releases egg, okay, into the fallopian tube, waiting to be fertilized. Okay, that's what happens, okay? The ovary, let me write it out. The ovaries releases the ovum or the ova. This is singular and plural, okay? It releases the egg into the fallopian tube, okay? That's what ovulation means. Now what is implantation? Implantation is a process whereby the embryo attaches itself to the wall of the uterus, okay? After being fertilized, it now attaches itself to the wall to start receiving nutrients from the mother. For instance, when a woman is pregnant, okay, what happens is the egg, that's the embryo, now attaches itself to the lining of the uterus of the mother, and by so doing, placentation now takes place, whereby the baby now obtains nutrients from the mother. Okay, so this is what the option say. So from this explanation, which of them is the correct answer? The answer is what? Implantation. Okay, so there's a process whereby the embryo attaches itself to the lining of the wall of the uterus. Okay, thank you. So I'm going to stop here. If you have any question, do well to comment, and also I'm going to leave one for you. I want you to ask questions, you share my videos, you like, you subscribe. If you found value in this video, do well to subscribe. Thank you. And also, sorry, I made a video today. I went to make an inquiry because I didn't Jamb form. Jamb form is not yet out. Okay, I was told that it will be from next week. Okay, so by next week Monday, we'll be expecting Jamb form 2025 to be out. Thank you for watching, and bye for now. Bye.